on the state's progress under the TMC government. She was talking about investment opportunities when she was called a liar by these protesters. She was confronted and heckled. There were slogans that were raised, but she continued. And not only did she continue her speech, she even dared some of those protesters to encourage her. She said, "I'll fight harder." She went on to say that Didi walks like a Royal Bengal tiger. Now, this incident has triggered a fierce political fight back home. While the TMC believes this was a pre-planned conspiracy or a plot to defame Mamata Banerjee, the BJP says that she was just being shown the mirror. Before we delve into that, let's listen into what exactly transpired.
I don't mind. Please raise your voice. It is a democracy. Please raise your voice. I listen. I will listen carefully. You know the case is sub judice and also it is central government has taken over. It is not with us. Don't try to make it into a political platform. If you want to make it a political platform, go to Bengal and tell your party to be more strong and more strength to fight against the communal people. Don't fight with me. This is you. This is you going to kill me. I was about to die. This is your atrocities. Just see. Just have a look. Instead of insulting me, you are insulting your own institution. Don't disrespect your institution. You can disrespect me, but you cannot disrespect your institution. Didi don't bother. Didi don't bother anybody. Didi walks just like a Royal Bengal tiger. If you can catch me if you can. But don't fight me if you don't catch me.
Now, that wasn't all. During a Q&A session, Mamata Banerjee voiced her opposition to the claim that India would overtake other economies to become the largest by 2060. When asked about India leaving behind the United Kingdom as the fifth largest economy and being on track to be #1 global economy soon, the West Bengal Chief Minister simply said she differs. While her party echoes that thought, the BJP asks why make it a habit to undermine India on foreign soil. Now, the TMC is also facing flack because they seem to be glossing over some of the facts. Now, India's rise as far as global economic rankings are concerned, they've been steady over the past few years. As per the International Monetary Fund, it took 6 decades for the country to reach its first trillion in GDP in 2007. 7 years later, in 2014, it crossed the $2 trillion mark. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, India's economy expanded to $3 trillion in 2021, and within just 4 years, by 2025, it's set to reach $4.3 trillion. Experts suggest that India could be adding $1 trillion to its GDP every 1.5 years at the current pace. And if that momentum continues, the country could become a 10 trillion economy by the end of 2032.
So I will defer that. There are so many things what I should not speak here. Internal matter, external affairs matter. I cannot disclose. So I have some other opinion also. Because every country is facing trouble after this COVID and also what is going the turmoil situation in the world. I can guess it. Let us hope for the gain because only we can hope. It is our dream to see my country should do best. You also want to see that your country is my country should do best, but it depends on.
First up on the show, joining us is a very special guest, Sukanta Majumdar, President of Bengal BJP and Union MOS for Education and Development of Northeastern Region. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. I want to get your first reaction in how do you see this kind of heckling of a chief minister? She is, after all, an elected representative in India, and this is what we see on foreign soil.
See, this is unfortunate that this kind of incident happened with a elected chief minister. As a chief minister of West Bengal, she is also representing myself. But the situation that arises due to the continuous, due to the continuous false statement given by the Mamata Banerjee. Not only so, even when Mamata Banerjee was in London, on that day only, the riot erupted in the district of Malda at Mothabari. The houses of the Hindus were vandalized, cars were vandalized, and they are threatened to death. Even the slang language against Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra was used by those hooligans, and police was quite mum. Later on, BSF was deployed in those areas. Now the situation is little bit peaceful. Even I am visiting the place tomorrow, a day after tomorrow. So this kind of incident actually compelled those people. Those are from the Bengal only. Those people are from Bengal only. They compelled to ask that type of question. Why? Because Mamata Banerjee has done this kind of things, and not only so. Recently, Mamata Banerjee promoted one of his councillor into the chairman of Panihati municipality. And what was the credit of that councillor? The credit was to cremate the dead body of Nirbhaya, that is the victim of Arjikar, as early as possible. They snatched the body from the guardian and they cremated the body. That was the role of that councillor, and that councillor has been promoted to the chairman of the municipality. So it is quite obvious that Mamata Banerjee has to face that kind of questions.
But Mr. Majumdar, the TMC says that this was not an organic sort of a response that came to the fore at Kellogg College. They say that these were left-leaning SFI protesters, and this entire incident was pre-planned, it was politically motivated.
See, these people maybe from the left, maybe from the other parties. I don't know what is their actual designation or actual affiliation. I don't know. But the question asked by the people of that of our state only, because they have migrated from Bengal only. It is quite logical, and Mamata Banerjee should avoid this kind of tour, because it was given a hype that the Mamata Banerjee was invited by a university. Not at all. She was invited by a college. I don't know what is the educational impact of that college and how important is it.
It is a prestigious one.
On meaning that kind of meeting, what is the purpose of that meeting? That should be also analyzed. And more importantly, the question what I coined in the morning today: why every time, just before election or one year before election, assembly election specifically, Mamata Banerjee visits foreign? Why? Not only so, another trend is very much visible. What is that trend? Mamata Banerjee could go to London from Mumbai, from Delhi, because we have the direct flight for London. But Mamata Banerjee and her family members, such as Abhishek Banerjee, whenever they visit either London, that is UK, or America, they first go to Dubai, and then Dubai to USA or maybe UK.
Okay.
Why? Why every time this Dubai is common? For every tour, you just analyze the every tour of Mamata Banerjee in recent years. So in those tours, you will see that every time they went to abroad through Dubai. And what is the connection of Dubai?
Sure. Now that's another matter
to be. That is another question.
Sure, that's another matter to be discussed.
Every time before election, Mamata Banerjee should.
Sure, that's another matter to be discussed, and I'm sure as a Chief Minister of the state, Chief Minister of a state in India, her travels abroad are monitored by the central government, by the MEA, and that's something that perhaps will come up if there is an issue. But speaking of this particular incident and this heckling that we saw at Kellogg College, while that was happening, while there were posters, Mr. Majumdar, that she faced, she too pulled out a poster. She was showing pictures of her when she had gotten injured very many years ago while responding to these protesters there. She spoke about how there was an attempt to kill her. How do you see that? If one side was pre-planned, do you think this side perhaps could have been too?
It is the sympathy card. Mamata Banerjee, every time she played this type of sympathy card, even during the last assembly election 2021, Similar kind, she traveled all the election campaigning venues with the wheelchair, and just after election, she was cured. So this is the victim card. Every time Mamata used this victim card, and some of her old colleagues, those are now in BJP, they say different thing about those injuries. I don't want to defame anyone, but there are so many questions
Sure.
about those injuries.
Sure, and during this particular visit, one last question before I let you go, Mr. Majumdar. The comment on economy that she had, that's also something that has ruffled feathers here. She said that she differs when she was asked about India's economic growth trajectory. The BJP says that this is just a habit of India bloc leaders to go abroad and malign India and not stand on India's side. But do you think this could have just been a differing opinion that she has?
See, being a chief minister of a state, Mamata Banerjee could have answered that question differently. A foreign journalist was asking the question that he has cited some projection of a of a body which projected that within that time period India will become the #1 economy and all these things. But Mamata Banerjee may have that different opinion. Maybe she is not so happy with the India's economic growth. Inside India there are so many Pakistan loving people. We can't do anything about them. That is the compulsion of our democracy. Even China loving people are also there inside our country. So we can't do anything. This is our democratic compulsion. But Mamata Banerjee, being a state chief, she should have answered it may have answered it quite differently. She has, humiliated the country also.
Shivanda Majumdar, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. We have a full panel as well here on the right stand, and let's open that up. Syed Zafar Islam, national spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. Professor Manojit Mandal, political analyst. Vivek Srivastava, leader of the left, is with us as well, and political analyst Gargi Nandi Roy. Vivek Srivastava, let me begin by asking you.
Yes.
The TMC, Mamata Banerjee, they all say that this was a political conspiracy. The left was involved, the SFI was involved, and this was not the stage for these kind of political questions to come off. That's what Mamata Banerjee said during that event as well.
No, I mean, I don't think you should use the word SFI or CPI and all that, because we are doing our activities within our country. But yes, left is all over the world. It's a very strong movement. And what she has been doing in Bengal as the chief minister, that has been questioned by us in the past. So that is one part, and probably because of that the students protested. Students over there protest on Palestine also, when you try to suspend them, and the professors back them up. So the students in the United States of America and certain colleges, including Kellogg, if you trace it up, they are politically very active, whether it is national or international issues. That is number one. Number two, I agree with the chief minister when she says that the economy of the nation is in a very, very bad shape. Mamata Banerjee is absolutely correct on that. You are feeding 80 crore people. They have to be given ration by the central government. Only then they are able to eat, and you are talking of an economy. You are borrowing heavily. I mean, I request all the viewers to go on to Google, use this platform of CNN News 18, and please check out the debt that is on the nation today, right now, and check it what it was on 2014 and how much we have borrowed and what is the balance amount and how we are going to return it out.
Sure, but while you're speaking of facts, can it also be denied that post-COVID, several global economies have struggled to revive, struggled to rise, but India has not found itself on that bad a footing?
No, that is because
something must have been right, isn't it?
I'll tell you what is right. You are falling into a debt trap. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are giving you very graciously, and foolishly the central government is accepting the money, not generating revenues on your own. Your so-called development activities which you are showing, aap kahan se paisa denge, nobody knows. I mean, this government goes and the next one comes. How you are going to manage it out, I don't know.
But if that was the case, why are no agencies like the IMF or the World Bank that you're citing, or any of the ratings agencies that have been on regular basis upgrading India's outlook, why have they not raised a concern over this?
They'll raise it when you are about to become Sri Lanka. When you are absolutely on the state of collapse, and when you do not know how to return your debts, that is when they become active. They became active when Dr. Manmohan Singh was the finance minister. That was the time when they became very, very proactive suddenly, and that is how they work. They let you borrow, and finally they want to dictate you politically They want their own defense bases in the country. That is how it goes. And that is where I feel the economic policies of this government have been wrong. On this particular issue, I stand with Mamata Banerjee.
Now, as far as the left and TMC are concerned, at least this they'll agree on. But speaking about the economy, India has not taken any financial assistance from the IMF since 1993. We're given to understand that all of the debt that we owe to the IMF has already been repaid. But Zafar Islam, let me get you in. But Zafar Islam, let me get you in. As far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, as far as the economy question is concerned, she may have a differing view that sure, our growth is right now on the right track, but who knows who's seen what's going to happen by 2060. We still have two very large economies to beat, United States and China.
Well, there are two things. First of all, it was very unfortunate that she was heckled. But I understand that she got the medicine of her own prescription. Everyone knows that how she used to heckle people back in India. So exactly the way she was got the treatment from the students, I think she deserved that purely because she has done all her life in India. Having said that, when she was talking about economy, she was the differing views. She would have very clearly said that I do not understand economy because the state of West Bengal, you know how underperforming state it is. Because India is performing. Everyone knows that India is performing, not only performing, but is performing better than many of the large economies. Having said that, just see the growth momentum of India. India is growing fastest among all the large economies. And in terms of size, our size of economy is growing. We have already from 11th position in 2014, we have now been among the top 5 economies, and we are very close to pushing the next 2 economies in next 2 years by 2027. So we'll be the top 3 economies in the world by 2027. And let me tell you one more important thing, that Mr. Vivek Srivastava has spoken about Indian economy, but without understanding. India does not borrow from like other countries from the external market. India does not borrow. India is following the fiscal discipline, the fiscal prudence measures, and that's why fiscal deficit is very low. And the roadmap of the fiscal deficit discipline has been given by the Honorable Finance Minister on the budget, on the day of the budget, that we will be better than what the state was expecting. Secondly, all the debt is the external debt is primarily borrowed through ECB route by the corporates, not India. In India as a country, these are all borrowed by corporate under ECB, external commercial borrowing.
You're wrong.
And secondly, we do not have availed any loan from IMF. And secondly, the third thing, which you should know, Srivastava,
I'll tell you.
many of the large economies, having debt to GDP much steeper or higher than us.
Yes.
And we are a very fast growing economy. We need to have some debt. But as we grow, we will start repaying those debts like we have paid for IMF, which was borrowed in 1993.
That's an excuse.
No, not excuse.
1.8 billion US dollars is what we have to return. Do you have a plan of action?
Absolutely.
You have no plan of action. You are just borrowing. Half of it you eat it up, and half of it your corporate partners.
Don't speak in between.
Yeah.
I said unlike UPA government, where there was no plan and there was a policy paralysis. Economy was in really bad shape. All the macroeconomic parameter was
and
in
this
terrible
is your
shape.
external debt, sir.
No, I know
1.8 is your external debt. Check your facts. We have borrowed externally. It's over here. All the viewers can go and check it out anywhere.
Sure. So the facts are out there. So the facts are all out there as far as India's economy is concerned. Growing, yes. Maybe there are issues that have to be addressed. And sure, all of that can be done. But the point, Manojit Mandal, that's also being made is that Mamata Banerjee was representing India at this college. Yes, she's the Chief Minister of West Bengal, but she's also representing an entire country. Certain comments that she made, be it about the economy or about the kind of political questions that she was facing, could they have been avoided? Could she have taken a more statesman-like stance? Is what many people are asking, not just your political rivals.
That's what she did. Specifically, she said that I am not authorized to speak on this issue, but just said that I have a differing view. She did not go further than that. But look at the way they are justifying this this almost premeditated attack on the Chief Minister, both left and BJP, saying it is her own medicine. If she was representing the country, if she was representing the state, they should have behaved like the way students behave. For God's sakes, there was a question answer session. These same questions could have been put in that particular, that particular session, but they heckled them in between. And this is the culture of the left, and I'm so sorry that the BJP is supporting it. Because in fact, one person is look at this placard right now. It says meet and greet. Now, who conducts meet? You support this? The NEET. He was talking about the NEET scam, the humongous NEET scam. This particular poster by gentleman, right? Who is this? And you are supporting this. You are supporting this meet and greet and the cheats and the criminal. You are the criminal. You are the cheats because you conducted meet. What are you talking about? For God's sake, she was representing India. She was the head of a federal state of India. But the British, they did not understand what is West Bengal, what is Calcutta. She would be representing the federal state of India. And where an Indian chief minister, Indian head of the federal state, she was insulted. And those insulted her were definitely anti-national. And the party that talks about nationalism, that party is also supporting that. I'm so sorry, so ashamed. This is an academic seminar where you have a pre-scheduled question answer session. The same questions could have been put. And look at the hypocrisy of the left. The Oxford, the House of Oxford.
But Professor Mandal, since you talk of hypocrisy.
No, hang on, let me speak. Probably Prakash Karat was also studying this particular institute where they were advocating for Tatas and Bidlas. They are like the hypocrites of the left. They were advocating for a multi-billionaire who were marauding the peasants of Singur to build their factory.
Don't drag the left into it. We are innocent people.
Tata Nano was a failure in Gujarat.
No, we are innocent people. Don't drag us into the middle.
That has happened, and they are questioning the verdict of the Supreme Court also. The Supreme Court clearly pointed out the faulty policy of the left-front government of acquisition of land. That was the verdict of the Supreme Court.
Sure, but Professor Mandal, since you talk about hypocrisy.
What are you talking about?
Sure, but Professor Mandal, since you talk about hypocrisy, isn't this hypocritical of the TMC as well? I mean, champions of free speech when something like this happens with the BJP, but if it happens to you, why is it shameful? I mean, the university didn't shut that down, the college didn't shut it down, which means they were okay with this happening. So they clearly are saying this is free speech.
Mamata Banerjee for 3 months on RG Court. For 3 months. You ran a campaign against Mamata Banerjee.
Yeah, but you cannot subdue the students. They are innocent students. Let them protest.
I don't know what campaign you're talking about, sir. We were asking for justice like everybody else was, and questions need to be asked. If a young doctor is, and we asked those questions of the CBI as well.
Yes.
Days after. We did, sir. Maybe you should get your homework done, sir. We here at CNN News 18 did ask those questions of the CBI as well.
Yeah, can I come now?
Gargi Nandi Roy, I know you've been patiently waiting, but as far as this entire episode is concerned, does this somewhere put the India bloc, the TMC and its allies on a back foot? Because most recently, as far as the Kunal Kamra case went, we saw them championing free speech. Here you have, I'm not condoning heckling of an elected chief minister of somebody who's representing India.
No, it was
but these questions were asked by people who were allowed to be there by that particular college.
But you asked those questions in a particular session,
Right.
not in
Sure.
between.
Thank you.
That was allowed, boss. Just a second. It was totally peaceful. It was allowed, and the students did it in a democratic way.
Okay,
There was no violence.
I request Professor
You can
Mandal
always
and
take
Professor Mandal and Vivek Srivastava to please give Gargi Nandi Roy the courtesy to speak. She's been patiently listening to all of you for about 20 minutes.
Woman, the cutscene.
Please let her speak. Please. I'll come back to both of you for your rebuttal.
So
but Gargi Nandi Roy.
I'll make some very quick points. I'll make very quick points. Firstly, it is the character of the India bloc to demean the country outside the country on the foreign soil. See, as an Indian, Mamata Banerjee should have felt proud that today India is the 5th largest economy and it has overtaken UK, which is 6th, and UK, which had ruled this country, which was the colonial ruler. So she should have felt proud. But instead, she said she is differing, and despite of whatever the global situation, we know that India's GDP growth rate has been 8.2% in 2023-24, and as per National Statistics Office, it should be 6.4% in 2024-25. India is supposed to become the 3rd largest consumer market. So please, feel proud for your country. There can be some problem, but on foreign soil, you should not talk like that. And Mamata Banerjee was peddling lies. What we have seen is disgraceful. Vivek please. I respect you. You are a nice person.
No, absolutely.
So,
you are more nice than me. But then there is
please,
an internet and
let
everybody
me give
knows
me a
everything.
point.
Sure, let her finish. Like I said, she's been patiently waiting for about 19 minutes. Let her finish. Let her finish, please.
Please. See, she was peddling lies. What we have seen, I don't know whether which party they belong to, but we have seen the outpouring of the anger of the people of Bengal who have migrated. And Bengal has one of the highest number of migration of educated people because of lack of opportunity of job and employment. Why is there so much? Bengal stands fourth in migration. Do you know? And between 2019 and 24, 2,277 companies, including 39 enlisted ones, left Bengal. So that shows the issue. She was talking about business, the Silicon Valley, Newtown, which she has announced. Go there and see. It's a barren land. Cows are grazing. Go there and see what is happening in Shingur. So when the Indian Industrial Land Bank, it has the estimate of industrial areas in India, and there are 2,884 industrial park across 35 states and UTs, none in Bengal. So what does that signify? So when she was peddling such lies, I think the people could not hold their anger back, and obviously people are angry because of what's happening to the Hindus.
Sure.
We have seen the post-poll violence. She is the health minister, she is the police minister, and what has happened
but there is a way in which these questions can be raised. Is a limited point the TMC seems to be making. But Zafar Islam, I saw your hand going. Zafar Islam, I saw your hand going up. Go ahead, please.
See, first of all, whatever students have done, they are part of left, and we know what traits they follow. Likewise, TMC, what Mamata Banerjee has been following all along is the same traits. So these two people have identical traits in terms of how they should deal with the people and keep heckling them. I think we should not overly waste our energy and time discussing about it, because it may be unfortunate because it was happening on foreign soil. But as I said earlier, that she was consuming medicine of her own prescription on the left. Is part of the same culture they follow.
You are scared of any discussion on any soil because it exposes your central government's truth or what you have done to the economy.
We can discuss about economy for hours. But let me tell you very clearly that Indian economy, when the global economy is shrinking, you know that it is shrinking. When you say that, when the global demand is हाँ तो 11 साल में 14 से 5वीं पोजीशन पे आए ना।
कितना कर्ज आपने लिया है, कब देंगे सर?
अरे कर्ज कुछ, अरे भाई कर्ज तुमको समझ में नहीं आ रहा।
80 करोड़ तो खाना खिला रहे हो सर, we can't buy our own
bread.
Sure,
now you can raise questions, Vivek. So the point that was being made here is that was that the platform where Mamata Banerjee could have said something else than what she did? That's the only point. That's the only point that's being made.
But today, and anybody can.
She could have only said that economy is not.
Manojit Mandal, as far as the economy question goes, the only.
Just a second. 10 seconds. All I'm trying to tell you that Mamata Banerjee could have chosen to say, economy is not my subject. India, we are not in India. Anything
but Zafar Islam, you can't be scripting what everybody else should be saying either.
BJP wants to decide whom Rahul Gandhi has to meet.
Exactly.
The moment you say I have a different view, basically
you can't decide.
But she can have a differing view. There is free speech, Zafar Islam. She can have a differing view. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in which again she is well within her rights to do.
Yes,
not at all. When you are spreading lies, you should not do that.
No.
But I don't think she was saying anything that is bereft of fact. But Manojit Mandal, last 30 seconds. I have very limited time. Manojit Mandal, last 30 seconds.
Indian economy is doing exceedingly well. She has no business to speak something, even if she has a different view.
You are talking about free speech, and when a head of the federal state of India, she says that I have a differing view, you can't tolerate it. Look at the shame that you practice. You talk about free speech. What you did to the comedian? Why the country is scared of a comedian? That speaks volume about the way country is running. In terms of free speech, India stands at India stands at 148.
But does any
in the- in
political
terms of the
party have
global
high
index.
moral
You
ground
talk
talking about free speech
the
or
people
hypocrisy?
stand
Many
more-
people,
left
many
has-
people in this country and the
left
electorate
has
of this
got-
country will say
This is
none
what- this is
really
what
are
the-
above board. But unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. I have to leave it there. I thank you all for joining us here on The Right Stand. But before we wrap this up and slip into a quick break, I do want to get in one of the voices that was actually present at Kellogg College when that entire episode transpired. Listen into what he had to say.
Hare Krishna, Namaste to everybody. 3 days back, one of my friends told me that Mamata Banerjee and her team is coming to Kellogg College, Oxford University, for a presentation on child and women development. And I said, okay, let's go and see what she's want to say about this. And we tried to get registration online for the event. Somehow we not able to get the bookings. Still from London and he from Hounslow, Mr. Jignesh Patel. Gone to Oxford, and around 5:30 we reached there. Around 300 people were there. Indian origin maybe 100, 200 maybe Bangladeshi supporting to Mamata Banerjee. We put our name in the waiting list, and somehow we got a chance to go inside the college. But in the hall, at the hall they stopped us because the hall was full.
We'll try and get you more details of what exactly transpired there, but it is time for a quick break on this edition. But on the other side, we'll get you the controversy that's brewing in Uttar Pradesh. Regulations against public namaz prayers on Friday, the last Friday today before Eid, has sparked a fresh political debate. We'll get you more details.
जीरा से प्यार
Thank you for staying with us. You're on the right stand. Amid the legal tussle over the Sambhal mosque, the area continues to remain tense. Uttar Pradesh government barred mass prayers on rooftops for the last Friday prayer of Ramzan, which is today. Rapid Action Force and police personnel conducted flag marches through the day today outside the Jama Masjid on the Alvida Namaz occasion today. Sambhal administration has issued instructions to ensure that namaz is offered only at designated areas of Eidgahs and mosques and not on roads and not in public places. Authorities cited safety concerns and traffic disruptions as the main reason for these restrictions, but the opposition is not convinced. They've slammed Yogi Adityanath government's approach, accusing it of religious bias. The Samajwadi Party especially accused the BJP of targeting Muslims. The BJP maintains that the enforcement of law and order should not become a basis for political propaganda. But it's not just Sambhal. Action is being taken in Meerut as well to avoid any disruptions. There are directives that came into the fore in both areas. In Sambhal, while no gatherings were allowed on rooftops to avoid any accidents, is what the state government said. In Meerut, the local administration said that FIRs would be filed, followed by stringent action if anybody was found offering namaz on the roads. In Sambhal, the directive was that namaz would be offered only at designated Eidgahs and not on roads, while in Meerut, they went one step forward. They said that if anyone was found offering namaz on roads, a penalty would be levied on them, including revocation of their driving license or passport. In Sambhal, there was deployment of drones and CCTVs in sensitive areas. There was flag marches that were conducted as well. While in Meerut, people were told to maintain law and order. The police was maintaining surveillance of potential offenders as well. So the question that really remains is, are these attacks from the opposition attempts to politicize law and order concerns?
I think it is very unfortunate that we have divided religions and we have divided festivals now, and the government is taking a stand against a particular festival. I think it is very unfortunate. It is a new India. It is not our India. It is not the India I had grown up in, and I'm just sad to see, and I hope that these governments understand that the beauty of India lies in its diversity.
इसको मैं समझता हूँ इसका प्रोपेगेंडा नहीं होना चाहिए। तमाम धार्मिक गुरु हैं, उन्होंने स्वतः से, और वो अब मस्जिदों में पढ़ाते भी हैं, ईदगाह में पढ़ाते हैं, उसको मैं समझता हूँ कि उसको चर्चा का विषय नहीं बनाना चाहिए। धर्म आस्था का विषय है और लोग अपने घरों पर, मस्जिदों के अंदर और ईदगाह में मना रहे हैं, तो उस पर टिप्पणी करने की जरूरत नहीं है।
Let's open this up. Political analyst Gargi Nandi Roy continues to be with us on this broadcast. Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Faizan Kidwai, is also with us. Faizan Kidwai, let me begin by asking you. The administration, both in Meerut and Sambhal, have said that these restrictions have always been in place. It's not new. Every year, these orders and advisories come to the fore to not cause inconvenience to public at large, which is why namaz is not allowed in public spaces or on roads. Why is there an ulterior motive that's being attributed to these decisions this year?
Yeah, I'll tell you, there are certain things which one should keep in mind while analyzing what Mr. Adityanath and his government is doing. You see, yesterday, Karni Sena people, they ransacked the house of Samajwadi Party's Dalit MP, and for a very long time they were mobilizing crowd by doing Facebook posts. Was the government not aware of what is going to happen? Eventually, attack happened on him, and these people, these right-wing writers, had the audacity to post a video online thanking the administration for not interfering in whatever they did.
प्रशासन का धन्यवाद, प्रशासन ने हमें प्रोटेक्ट किया ना,
हमें प्रशासन का धन्यवाद, ना प्रशासन ने हमें कुछ कहा, ना हमने प्रशासन से कुछ कहा. This is exactly what these people are saying. So why no case has been registered against these people? Why there is no FIR? Why is there no bulldozer action? Some FIR was registered on unknown people. What do you mean by unknown people? Aren't there CCTV cameras? Can't you see who are these people? Can't you register an FIR? But this bulldozer action, these FIRs are only reserved for people from minority communities. It's so unfortunate, ma'am, that there's a government in place in Uttar Pradesh which thinks that they'll gain electorally if they humiliate and target minority people. And unfortunately, there are some people who kind of get some side kind of sadistic pleasure seeing Muslims suffer. Mr. Adityanath, if you see his podcast, which he did yesterday, he says that Muslims are hypocrites because they wear colorful clothes, but they have objection to if somebody throws color on them. So Mr. Adityanath, maybe he doesn't understand the concept of consent, of cultural freedom. You can choose what you have to do. Either you can wear colorful clothes or not. Nobody has the right to throw color on you. It is as simple and basic. But Mr. Adityanath,
sure, but then shouldn't that same logic then also apply to people who might be inconvenienced because namaz is being offered on the roads? Several Islamic countries madam, don't allow this either.
Right.
Actually, okay, correct. See, but this is not only during Ramzan or during Eid that this is going to happen. Roads were blocked for months during the Kumbh Mela, during Kawar Mela, when Kawadiyas go for their pilgrimage. The roads are blocked. Even non-veg shops are shut down during Navaratri. So when you're doing these things to gain brownie points from a certain community, why are you targeting Muslims? We all have seen that in Mumbai, if you see, during Ganesh Visarjan, the roads are blocked and everybody happily cooperates because everybody knows that this is going to happen just one day. And you also see what the Sambhal DSP is constantly, the kind of irresponsible remarks he's making. First, he had flouted Rule 3 of Service Code by making a communal and a pro-BJP remark, which he shouldn't have. Now he says, if you want to eat sevaiya or distribute sevaiya, you should also eat gujia. I fail to understand what exactly is he trying to say. Is this person a BJP stooge or a hate monger or plainly a retard or everything mixed together? This person should have been removed from the post long back, but Mr. Adityanath will retain him because he's speaking, he's doing what Mr. Adityanath wants him to do. And ma'am, sure. I was really shocked and saddened to hear this draconian order for Alvida and Eid prayers. Imagine if you don't agree to what Mr. Adityanath is saying, offer namaz the way he wants, there'll be an FIR against you.
That's the
top it all, even more disgusting,
sir, that this particular norm of not offering namaz from rooftops or from on roads has been in place for years together. That's what the administration has been saying. But Gargi Nandi Roy, specifically talking about Meerut, do you think this is targeting people to say that we'll take your license away, we'll take your passport away? I mean, what sort of penalty that is? Even if someone was found to be offering prayers in the middle of the road. I mean, the BJP's own ally had questioned it. The RLD was aghast at what had happened.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Poonam. You know, to say that Muslims are targeted, I think it's wrong. We have just seen that Saugate Modi, it was given to poor Muslims, and we know the welfare schemes were all well distributed and all Muslims got it. So it's a wrong thing to say. And now, Sheikh Uthman Al-Khamis, a Kuwaiti cleric, he said that it is wrong to offer prayers outside the mosque when there is place within. It is invalid and not permissible. I am not saying. He is a Kuwaiti cleric. And what happens in Saudi Arabia and UAE, which are Islamic countries, obviously namaz on roads are not allowed. And they are fined. People are fined 1,000 dirhams. Faizan Bhai, in UAE, do you know that Abu Dhabi police, what they do? If a motorist stops at an unregistered place to offer namaz, he is fined, and the fine is 1,000 dirham. And those are Islamic countries. So will you say that Saudi Arabia and UAE are also acting against the Muslims? No, that happens because of safety and public order. And for, I'm quoting facts. And the cleric I quoted him. And is there any provision in Islam for offering prayers outside the mosque? The cleric, the Kuwaiti cleric I quoted him. I have studied. I'm doing talking with facts, sir. So we have seen the violence in Sambhal. Why to cause inconvenience? Nobody is stopping you from doing your prayers. We are the most pluralist culture. We believe, even Hindus, you go to Shiva temple or Shakti temple or Vaishnav, you are still a Hindu, and we believe anybody you believe, we respect that. But you cannot inconvenience the people, and when there is a concern of public order, so it is done for that. And if UAE can fine and Saudi Arabia can fine 1,000 dirhams, so maybe it is just a threat that your driving license and passport will be revoked.
And Faizan, there is worry as far as law and order situation is concerned. As far as offering namaz on rooftops was there, the administration said that is just to avoid any unsafe accidents. That is just because it poses security risks if there are large gatherings that are on rooftops. Why can't that be taken at face value? Isn't the state government prerogative also to ensure that public order or public safety is maintained?
Okay, so when pyramids are made during the Dahi Handi festival, will the government come up with the same
A lot of
kind
them are
a
banned,
concern
sir.
Yes,
And I come from
yes, it
Maharashtra,
is.
which is why I know.
And ma'am, I'm not saying that if somebody is breaking the law, you don't fine them or punish them. You should, but the law should be same for everybody. I mean, how can you say that people, if they assemble on the rooftop, there's a danger of them falling down? This can happen even if there's no festival. So, I mean, you just go and see the kind of data we have and the way Mr. Adityanath is functioning. As I was mentioning the podcast, if you see, this man makes some Islamophobic comments. He says that if there's a society where majority of Muslims live, the Hindus will never be safe there. This is a factually incorrect and an Islamophobic
But he was talking that he was saying that in context of Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Would you say that that's untrue of these three countries as well?
May I just let me complete? Please let me complete. See, if you see places like Kerala or Hyderabad where Muslims are in majority, the Hindus and Muslims live peacefully, you won't hear such cases of riots there. Why? Because the government is not inciting people or there is no communal flare-up. Mr. Adityanath is constantly talking about, he's constantly talking about this divide, 80-20 ki rajniti. So how can you trust this individual? And why no case on Karni Sena so far? Why the hate mongers? If you see the NCRB data, it says between 21-23, UP topped when it comes to religious hate crimes in India. And majority of the people who are giving hate crimes are people from Bharatiya Janata Party. There's this BJP MLA, her name is Ketki Singh. She made a remark that there should be a separate hospital for Muslims. Then there was a minister in Mr. Adityanath's cabinet. He says that Muslims during Holi, why don't they put a tirpal on their wives, just the way they put a tirpal on their wives and then go out. So this is a constant humiliation. The Muslim community is humiliated.
So Gargi Nandi Roy, as far as the opposition is concerned and the minority community is concerned, BJP ke kathni aur karni mein fark hai. That's their objection mainly. That you may say one thing, that the Saugate Modi kits may be going out to 32 lakh needy Muslim families. But look at the hypocrisy here. In another side, where the perpetrators are from the majority, that's when you don't act. That's when you suddenly become mute spectators.
I don't think so. I think people are arrested. Even if a Hindu takes law in his hand, he is arrested. We have seen in UP, whether it is Mukhtar Ansari or that Vikas Dubey, if there was both died, right? I mean, Yogi Adityanath, he doesn't consider the religion when it comes to criminals. See, if it's somebody does crime, he should be arrested. And sir, I'll correct you one thing. Please let me tell you what Yogi Adityanath said. If Muslims become majority, Hindus are not safe. That is historically true. You cannot deny it. Sir, my ancestors had come from Bangladesh. No, and you are talking about separate Muslims. Muslims wanted a separate country. You have taken separate country, Pakistan.
I haven't taken.
Pakistan.
My ancestors decided to stay here.
Okay,
so don't throw this at me, madam. Muslims, whoever Muslims wanted, they left.
And my ancestors have come from Bangladesh.
Let me tell you, and this is
my father as a small child came during partition.
Fake propaganda.
Obviously, it's your mother. Say obviously your motherland. Sir, my Nana ji and my father was a small child when partition happened, when they had to come from Bangladesh, living behind acres of land and all. Why they had to come? What was the percentage of Hindus in Bangladesh then? 23%.
Sure. So maybe that was the context that Yogi Adityanath was speaking in. But talking about what's transpiring in India and what's transpiring in Uttar Pradesh, and that's what we really want to focus on. The kind of narrative that we've seen in the recent past, is there more just political noise than actually what's happening on ground? That's a question that many are asking as well. Is the political noise that we're seeing in the political discourse that we're seeing on the sidelines, is that keeping the pot boiling when there's none that needs to be taken care of? Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time and I have to thank you there. I thank you both for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. We are shifting focus though before we wrap up to this powerful earthquake that hit several countries in Southeast Asia. A 7.7 scale earthquake hit Myanmar, it then spread widespread devastation, not just in that country, which was the epicenter, but in different countries around as well, where aftershocks and tremors were felt, like Vietnam and Thailand. The impact was felt strongly in both those countries. Over 167 have been reported dead. There are several hundreds that are injured. Many have been missing and unaccounted for as well. India, of course, has decided to give any sort of assistance and help that could be required to any of these countries. India will be the first responder in the region, is an assurance that has come to the fore from New Delhi.
Insofar as relief and assistance is concerned, we are currently analyzing the reports related to damage primarily in Myanmar. We are in touch with the official authorities in Myanmar and are also looking at the exact requirements in terms of the assistance and relief material that might be required. You're aware that India has always been a first responder, especially in its neighborhood, whenever these kinds of natural disasters have taken place. I would imagine that by later today we'll have a further update on the responses that we will be mounting.
We're joined now by Sander Thant, who felt the tremors hundreds of kilometres away from the epicenter in Myanmar. Thant is a researcher at Thailand's Asian Institute of Technology. She joins us now live from Chiang Mai. And just walk us through those moments when you felt the tremors there in Thailand, if you will.
Yeah, actually, you see, it was exactly 1:25 p.m. this afternoon. I have hypertension. So I firstly thought that I am having the high blood pressure and my anxiety popped up. Then I saw the fruit tree in front of the house and it's shaky, and my lamp are also shaky. My bed door are on and off. So I realized that it is an earthquake. It was terrible, and I also moved living under the table. So at the same time, I was also thinking that it is only Chiang Mai. But later on, in a minute, the news also, came up in the Facebook and the news from Bengal and also a lot of places in Myanmar as well.
Are you aware of any damage there where you are in Chiang Mai?
Yeah, actually, I don't go outside because I'm afraid of having that again. That's why. But I also see a lot of damage, especially from Bangkok. From Bengal, so I have friends and also relatives there, and also they cannot stay in the condominium. They have to stay outside, and some of them they have like a elder mother. So that's why they are very much difficult to find a place because they cannot stay in a condominium.
Co-powered by Hello and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. The entire country has been shocked and awed and is still talking about the pictures of burning currency notes that were seen at the residence of former Delhi High Court Judge Yashwant Verma. The judge subsequently has been de-rostered. He's not been given any judicial work and has been repatriated to his parent High Court, the Allahabad High Court, where the Allahabad High Court Bar Association has taken grave offence to this transfer. So have a number of bar associations across the country, some of whom have come to Delhi and met with the Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal. The reason why this story is still being talked about, ostensibly 2 weeks after this incident happened, is because those pictures really play on our conscience. The fact that you're seeing charred currency notes, and if you listen to that audio from that particular video on the night of the incident, you can hear one of the firemen say, Gandhi ji pe aag lage hai, which means Mahatma Gandhi is literally on fire, referring to the Mahatma Gandhi insignia on those currency notes. A few questions need some very critical answers. Number one, does Justice Verma's defense so far cut